Hey everybody, what is up? It's your friends TJ and Kyle Howard back at you with a What's Up Wednesday. We're going to talk to you a little bit this morning about the things kind of coming up at Sibme in terms of webinars and the Better Together conference. We have a interview coming up with Duncan Chapel Elementary on best practices for trialing and piloting Sibme and some of the things that they discovered this semester. Really exciting stuff. However, we got live television, everybody, we'll be bringing that interview to you later today in a separate video. But you know what, TJ, Kyle, let's just jump into the things that we can with our community. TJ, you got a webinar coming up. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I'm really excited about the conversation that I'm going to be having next week on April 27th. That's next Tuesday with Brian Goodwin. Brian Goodwin is the author of Unstuck, a great book for school leaders and anyone who is leading professional development. I came across an article in Educational Leadership magazine back in the February article that he wrote talking about how to reinvent and not regurgitate PD when it moves online. And I thought, wow, what a great topic. And it's really interesting thoughts. He's a really kind of blue flame thinker on things regarding school leadership and online learning. And he's going to talk about all those sorts of topics in our webinar next Tuesday. So I'm really excited to talk to him about it.
It's going to be a really exciting conversation, especially as folks kind of look at building better PD and the way they address maybe learning loss, a lot of other things. So don't forget, April 27th, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can register for free. If you're not able to attend it live, you'll get it a link to the recording later on. info.sibme.com/Brian-Goodwin. Okay, Kyle, want to talk a little bit about some of the things you got cooking?
Well, I wanted to ask TJ on that with Brian Goodwin. Who do you recommend should attend, and what do you feel like folks can really get out of that webinar?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's, Brian's background is in a variety of different topics regarding school leadership and innovation in schools. Our topic of the webinar is going to be primarily focused on designing professional learning, designing collaborative online professional learning. So not just another 50-minute Zoom webinar that everybody's sitting and staring at, but really like how to get people engaged, how to get people interacting with one another and interacting with content, demonstrating mastery and that sort of stuff. So if you're a PD designer, a school leader, a district leader, an instructional coach who's been struggling with the engagement that you have with your teams over the last couple of years, and you want to really think about whether or not you could do some design changes to really make it a reinvented experience, then that's for you. But I think if you're a teacher and you're teaching online and you're really trying to figure out how can I get my kids more engaged, Brian's got some great ideas on how to apply those same concepts that you could then reuse with kids. So I think it's really for anybody who's trying to engage people in learning in a digital medium.
Wow, I think that's very, very powerful, especially after this year. That's the conversation that we're really hearing the most, from teachers and, with just staff in general. How can we continue to keep folks engaged? So make sure that y'all register to attend for that on April 27th. But besides that, I know we have some other great things cooking up and with Sibme here. I know that we have our Better Together conference coming up. Brian, you want to kind of lead folks into that and talk more about that?
Well, from what I understand, our page is live for the registration. TJ, do you want to pull that up?
Yeah. So know I forgot something. So we're ready for registrations and taking registrations now. We have already a couple hundred people signed up to attend the conference, which is really, really exciting. And so head on over to info.sibme.com/better-together. And there you'll be able to learn a little bit more about what we're doing at the conference. We had a great planning meeting yesterday with Paul Bambrick-Santoyo to get ready for his session. And also, we didn't have this when we announced it as our second practitioner keynote. Tanya Gori, Dr. Tanya Gori, who many people will remember from her Impact Now webinar and from courses that she's written for us in the Learning Center. Tanya is the Assistant Superintendent for Transformation in Cy-Fair ISD, an absolute genius as far as I'm concerned, one of the best educators I've met in my entire career, and she'll be talking about excelling, so moving a campus from good to great, paraphrasing Jim Collins there, some great concepts. I can guarantee you that you will learn a ton from Tanya in her keynote session. So she's joining Dana Sanders from KIPP, who is our other practitioner keynote, and then also Jenny Donahue and Paul Bambrick-Santoyo. We're still finalizing the list of speakers for the conference. All of our breakout sessions, we have quite a few coming up, but we do have some really, really exciting sessions planned for the 2 days. So I think it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful event. Also, we've started working on designing the learning experience outside of the 2-day event on June 21st and 22nd, but also including some great learning opportunities that are free and available to anyone who registers for the conference starting on June 1st. So we're really practicing what we preach, trying to make it fun, trying to make it engaging, and trying to make it both synchronous and asynchronous. You know, Sibme is the time machine that connects people across time and space and gives us an opportunity to learn from anywhere. And the beauty of using Sibme for this conference is we can have all kinds of opportunities to interact with one another and with these presenters outside of the just the one and done experience on the 21st and 22nd.
Excellent. So, TJ, Kyle, thanks very much for bringing us in tune with what's going on with the Sibme community. Later today, we'll be doing an interview with Duncan Chapel Elementary on some best practices for trialing and piloting. You know, I am going to kind of just talk a little bit about, because I help a lot of folks with trials and pilots. You know, trials are great ways to kind of get a peek inside of Sibme and see if this is a space that works well with your workflow. Pilots are great, you know, things to do with your campus or your program for a longer period of time than we offer in a trial, for you to kind of discover who your champions are and what your use cases will look like inside of Sibme. So there's usually one, you know, one follows the other in a program's journey. So tune in later today for Duncan Chapel's testimony. This was, you know, we had a lot of trials this semester, and this program was a great model for, I felt, campuses, you know, that did a pilot this semester, and I think their testimony is going to be a really interesting one to hear. All right, that's all we got for now. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later today.
Adios.